So, what does it take to become a superhero? Are there any secrets that Hollywood actors use to get those perfect bodies for certain roles? No, it's not just fancy special effects. In fact, these guys suffer a lot. One star had to lose 35 pounds in just 6 weeks for their role, and another was 5 months pregnant during filming. And one actor refused offers from Marvel more than 3 times just to avoid this insane workload. Want to know who these people are? Here's a list of Marvel and DC stars who sacrificed a lot to become iconic characters. It's Peter here, and you're watching the OSSA channel. 8 years is a long time to be playing a character. Any character, but especially one as physically demanding as Captain America. Chris Evans knew what would come with such great responsibility, and so, when Marvel made their offer for the role, the actor declined. Didn't want to sign his life away for about a decade. Evans was also terrified at the idea of having to do all those press tours and turning himself into a much more public figure. Something about Evans had convinced Marvel he was the guy though, as they made repeated offers to him, which he turned down over and over and over. Eventually, Robert Downey Jr. put pressure on Evans' agent to make the star accept the role. If Downey didn't make that happen, Marvel would probably have selected one of their other candidates for the role, including Ryan Phillippe, Garrett Hedlund, Channing Tatum, and Dane Cook. Yes, there is an alternate universe where Dane Cook was cast as Captain America. Thank the Watcher that isn't our universe. We all know that you can't make a superhero movie these days without a few fancy special effects, giving all the flying and fighting that goes on between good and evil. The first Captain America film, and in my opinion, the best, proved to be quite unique, however, as the standard visual effects challenges were not quite what we're used to. They had to make something big look a lot smaller. Chris Evans packed on so much muscle, producers had to use computer-generated imagery to slim down his physique for Captain America. Chris Evans was turned into a well-meaning wimp, but once Steve Rogers was fully transformed into the Star-Spangled Sentinel, it was all Evans on screen. His training called for weightlifting in order to bulk up, but also plyometrics, gymnastics, and bodyweight exercises to maintain agility. Evans recounts that he normally enjoys the gym, but those training sessions were unusual. Because of the stress, he was literally puking at the gym. It was brutal, absolutely brutal, the actor confessed. And that's why after filming the last Avengers movie, Evans wants to relax and simply spend time with his dog, whose funny face we recently saw on Evans' Twitter account. Let's continue with the captains and reveal the story of the Captain Marvel actress Brie Larson. Not only had Larson been doing her homework on the US Air Force in preparation for the role, she'd also spent serious time in the gym. In an Instagram video, she's doing push-ups with heavy chains draped across her lower back. Larson comments that getting stronger is a process she's committed to showing up for every day. Another video shows her easily completing hip thrusts with over 300 pounds of weight, while a third shows her doing pull-ups with ease. Over and above all that, to prep for her upcoming role, Larson took a flight in an F-16 and got a quick informal tutorial in an F-15 that flew in the Gulf War. That is impressive. I'm glad she's taken her training seriously. I've even changed my mind about Captain Marvel movie. Well, almost. No, sorry, I can't. It was bad. I'm so sorry, Brie. Moving further along to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt went from zero to hero. It's amazing that right before his big break, he was a college dropout living out of a van and waiting tables in Hawaii. The acting world has changed him a lot, but not always in a good way. For instance, after his role on the sitcom of Parks and Recreation, Pratt, in his own words, pigged out until he approached 300 pounds. It was a hell of a challenge to convince the Guardians of the Galaxy producers that he could get into shape to play an intergalactic superhero. He worked with a nutritionist, drank lots of water, and went for varied workouts, which totally paid off, as he eventually lost 60 pounds in 6 months. To celebrate his new shape, the man posted a selfie with an ironic caption, 6 months, no beer. Another Chris also paid his dues for his role as a god. Before being picked up by Marvel, Chris Hemsworth was a stranger to weightlifting, but to fill the Norse god Thor's vast frame, he had to pack on 9 kilograms of muscle, using an ever-changing regime designed to challenge his physique in unpredictable ways. Thanks to workouts with a former Navy SEAL and popular trainer Duffy Gaver, Hemsworth managed to go beyond the call of duty, and come filming time, he couldn't even fit into his costume. You might think they used some secret special techniques for that, but nope. He just went with the old school training of pull-ups, rows, squats, presses and the like, which bulked up Hemsworth by 20 pounds for 2011's Thor. but Hemsworth learned that weightlifting alone wasn't suitable. The actor recalls that he felt big and very stiff and uncomfortable during his debut Marvel movie. So Chris varied his approach, adding yoga and other flexibility training. And now he feels much more functional and comfortable with himself. Another Guardian of the Galaxy has a decent story for the transformation he underwent. When the world found out that Shazam would be brought to life in the DC movie universe by Zachary Levi, plenty of his fans lined up to call it the perfect choice. But in fact, Levi passed on the role of Shazam because he believed he never stood a chance. He later auditioned for a much smaller part, but instead received an offer for the main role. Photos from the set of Shazam showed star Zachary Levi in full supersuit, which has raised questions for a number of fans. Questions like, is that Zachary Levi's real arm or what? Frankly speaking, I had the same concern. And I also dislike this cartoonish costume. But anyhow, this isn't a DC hit piece, right? No. Marvel didn't pay me to say this. The only thing Marvel has ever asked me to do, in their words, is please stop sending us your weird screenplays. Okay, anyway, taking the internet rumors in stride, Levi revealed the training plan he used to get into superhero shape for Shazam, explaining that ever since he was cast in the DC Comics film, he's been to the gym 5 or 6 times per week and has been eating between 3,000 and 4,000 calories per day. Overall, the actor's been hovering around 215 pounds, and in his words, he's in the best shape of his life, and stronger and happier and healthier than he's ever been. Whether that was real muscle or not, it's quite awesome that Levi is in great shape both mentally and physically. Let me move along to another marvelous woman, Gal Gadot. To play an Amazon warrior, Miss Israel had to gain some muscle. Gadot underwent a lot of physical training and watched her nutrition closely. But that wasn't the real reason she was suffering. The main issue was that during reshoots, Gadot was already 5 months pregnant. Gal Gadot may not actually be Wonder Woman, but there were days on set when she certainly came close.
Migraines, I vomited everywhere. I was late to set because I had to vomit, whatever, morning sickness. It was so awful.
Her baby bump was no longer inconspicuous, so costume designers cut out a big triangle from the front of her supersuit, replacing it with a bright green cloth that would allow the special effects department to alter her figure in post-production. She had to work hard, running and performing some fight choreography. Gadot says that because of these reshoots, her wide shots looked like Wonder Woman was pregnant with Kermit the Frog. Producers expressed lots of gratitude for Gadot's efforts, adding cheerfully that now at least they'll be able to tell her daughter Maya that she's in her mum's stomach right about then, in the middle of that important battle scene. The next one will be the Incredible Hulk, whose 1,000 pounds of muscle and anger, concocted for the screen by the tech wizards at Industrial Light and Magic. But his portrayer, Mark Ruffalo, was diligent at getting alter ego Bruce Banner into shape too. As with any superhero casting, the announcement that Ruffalo would be joining Marvel was met with millions of unnecessarily angry responses from comic book fans around the world. Boy, has he proven those people wrong over the years. In an interview with Paste magazine, Ruffalo says Banner would live this really clean life in order to stay on top of his rage. Accordingly, the actor adopted a 21-day lifestyle of eating 1 meal a day, 2 shakes, no dairy, no meat, no caffeine, no sugar, no love, no fun, no sex, no drugs, no wine, no women. Ruffalo confessed that it was so intense for him that during the first week he had to lock himself away from his family so he didn't kill anyone. But then after that, Mark started to feel really good. Crazy, right? The way Mark Ruffalo sees it, Bruce Banner is sort of like an alternate universe version of Tony Stark, whose life went down a different route. Banner was the renegade professor who was kind of a rebel, arrogant, kind of doing things that were unorthodox. That's what makes Bruce Banner like the fallen angel version of Tony Stark. No wonder the fans have made all those Science Bros jokes about Tony and Bruce's relationship. And I'll continue by talking about the relationship between Bruce Banner and his Iron Science bro. Over 10 years ago, Robert Downey Jr.'s charm helped him turn a B-list Marvel character into the most bankable superhero in Hollywood. Though Marvel didn't want to cast Robert Downey Jr. in the role of Tony Stark in the first place, they thought of Nicolas Cage and Tom Cruise as better alternatives for Downey. Actor was a star well past his prime, but he had developed a reputation as an unreliable screw-up with a history of drug abuse. It took director Jon Favreau's great belief in the actor to convince producers that Downey was the only man for the job, and that totally paid off, even to this day. Downey has not only maintained his status as one of the favorite heroes in the Marvel Universe, but he's also been drug-free ever since he got cast in the role, and much of his gratitude is owed to his wonderful wife. Whose effort to transform themselves for their role impressed you the most? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below. Thanks for being with OSSA. This is Peter. See you next time.